Previously on He Made Me Do It.
Nobody walks in with a pistol and just robs, huh?
Victim has gunshot wounds, right? Multiple gunshot wounds, yeah.
It was amateurs. You can tell it was amateurs.
The robbers were captured over the weekend after a police chase in California.
The Bonnie and Clyde-like couple causing chaos.
It almost seems like there was a little bit of relief.
You're not gonna do anything crazy, right?
No.
All right.
Helen Simmons didn't expect to be here.
I just want to talk to somebody.
Sitting in a police interrogation room after she was arrested in a police chase with a guy her family didn't even know.
I had no idea. I had no idea.
Kimberly Leonard first learned her daughter was in trouble during the chase when Helen tried to call her from the U-Haul.
Like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I got a call. It's just like, Mom, I think I'm gonna go to jail. I'm scared. I'm like, what? What's going on? You're chasing us. I'm like, what is going on, Helen? She says, it's because of him. I'm like, what do you mean? It's not me, it was him. He made me do some horrible things, Mom.
Helen was 18 years old when she moved to Arizona, just a few weeks before the chase. She was supposed to be staying in Phoenix with her sister, Natasha.
I am aware of the capacity of what she would do. And this is so far beyond the scope of anything that she would do. When she moved out here, she did so with the intentions of really moving forward with her life. She had already been accepted into ASU for journalism. She wanted to be a photojournalist.
She loves to do different things, new things, go to different places. She's been to Spain, she's been to Jamaica. She loves to learn new things, explore. She learned dance and she loved it.
Her family shared this video Helen created for a class project in high school, full of dancing, outfit changes, personality. Helen playing the piano herself under the music.
It's always something she loves to do, something new and fun and interesting.
Helen seems composed on the surface, but at home, things weren't always the best. Helen told a forensic interviewer that her parents split when she was a kid, and the divorce was hard. Helen said she moved between her parents' places in New Hampshire and later Vermont. She said she'd smoke and drink, sometimes even at school, and briefly tried some harder drugs. At one point, she wound up staying with her high school boyfriend until things got bad. In 2021, Helen's brother-in-law died by suicide.
It sounds like Helen's been through a lot in her early years of life. How do you think that played into all of it?
A lot, because of everything, and she was vulnerable.
Being young and she'd just barely come out of a kind of like crazy relationship and stuff, I think she was seeking that connection with someone.
Maybe she was looking for somebody that cared.
Helen started swiping before she even got to Phoenix. Her phone records provided by her mom indicate Helen landed in Phoenix on June 29th, 2022. She said she met Matthew Jones soon after, some records saying June 30th, others July 1st. He picked up Helen from Natasha's house. Helen and Natasha checking in over text. "I really like this man, LOL," Helen wrote.
At first he was very sweet to her, I guess, of what she said.
Helen stayed over with Jones the first night, and the next night, and the night after that, essentially moving in with him at a Scottsdale apartment where he'd been staying with his sister.
I was concerned about it because it was a very quick kind of like she met him and all of a sudden she's gone type of thing. I don't know, I figured it was just some teenage infatuation type of thing.
Natasha tried to be supportive. She warned her little sister not to move too fast, but Helen would always reassure her. "Is everything going okay with him?" Natasha asked. "Yes," Helen replied. But things were not okay.
Oh, gosh.
Said you got big things to talk about.
The first time Helen told anyone what she said was really going on was in California, when she was questioned by Huntington Beach police, hours after she was taken into custody.
Because I'm not questioning you about the crime, and I honestly don't care about the crime. Okay? We were told that you're a victim of human trafficking, so we're here to talk to you as a victim.
A victim of human trafficking.
You meet him on Tinder in Phoenix?
Yes.
Helen walks the investigators through how she met Matthew Jones.
Did you move in with this guy that fast?
Yeah, let me explain
doing?
it. So, I didn't really have a choice because so the first day I was like, okay, you're gonna give me a ride home. He's like, oh, it's late. I'll give you a ride home tomorrow.
She kept asking for a ride home, but said he would never take her.
And then eventually I started to like him, so I'm like, yeah, I'll just move in with you.
Helen said he started controlling her food, clothes, and phone.
Like a few days into it, I started to be like, okay, this is a little weird. He was very controlling.
As the days passed, she said he still wouldn't let her go home. There was only one time. They stopped by to grab some of her stuff while her sister wasn't there, and she said Matthew Jones wouldn't let her stay. When Helen said she tried to leave on her own, things turned violent.
He ended up choking me against the wall and then throwing me on the bed. He tied duct tape around my head, not just my mouth, but my head and my hair. He went and ran 2 or 3 times, and then he handcuffed my arms behind my back and then tied my legs together and told me that if I move, he's going to shoot me. And I grabbed his gun and put it to my head.
She described more physical violence and said he wouldn't let her take her prescribed mental health medications. Instead, he'd give her alcohol and unknown drugs. She kept trying to leave, but he'd always stop her, including the day before the jewelry store robbery.
He got out of the shower as I was leaving, and he absolutely flipped out. Like, he grabbed me and he started choking me like really bad. He hit me, and I know he bit me right here. That's how I have the black eye, because that was the day he punched me in the eye. I don't know if you
This
can see
time,
it.
Helen said there was a witness.
And then his sister was there, and she saw that I was begging her to give me a ride home.
Helen said Jones took her from the apartment before his sister could intervene. She said they went to a motel in Scottsdale for the night. At one point, she tried to end her life, or hurt herself to the point where she could be taken to the hospital. Natasha had no idea her sister was in trouble.
I guess he said not to tell us his true name.
Looking back, there were some signs that things weren't right.
There was a couple of times where she had texted me to come pick her up.
According to Natasha, Helen asked for a ride over a phone call. And when Natasha asked for the address, Helen sent a screenshot of Matthew's sister's apartment complex.
But then she texted back of like, no, it's fine. I was just overreacting, like it's fine. And then later she told me that each time he had taken control of her phone.
Another time, the night before the robbery, when Helen said she was at that Scottsdale motel, she texted Natasha to come get her.
I was like, okay, give me your address, I'll come get you.
But like before, Helen scaled it back.
But then she had said later, like, no, everything's fine. I'm gonna have him drop me off at your house tomorrow. So I waited for her the next day to show up.
But Helen never came home.
We're gonna help you with everything that happened in California.
Okay.
The investigators in Huntington Beach said it would be up to law enforcement in Arizona to investigate everything that Helen just told them, but that they could help her with what she said happened next in Orange County.
He's been making me take like pills and stuff and putting things under my tongue. So I don't even remember. I don't even know what day it is. I don't even know half of what's gone on anymore. I know I've had to like random guys for money.
Helen described how Matthew Jones put images of her online, advertising sex for money.
We never had the guys come to our hotel rooms. We either had them pay for a different hotel room or we'd go to their house.
Helen admits it's all been a blur, but remembered this happened with at least 4 men.
Is this something where you were agreeing to have sex with them for money if you got to keep the money? But now he's stealing the money from you when you get back to the car?
Yeah.
Like, is it like that, or is he forcing you to go in and get raped? Because there's a big difference.
Yeah, so let me explain it. So I told him, I'm like, I don't want to be around you. I don't like you. I want to leave as soon as I can. And he's like, well, you cannot leave me until we both have enough money to be set by ourselves. And so he was like, you have to do these things in order to leave me, in order to have the money to leave me.
And what do you mean by these things?
Like, random people.
How much money was he?
Talk to them.
Did he give you an amount that you each needed to get?
$350 at the least.
Like $350?
Yeah, at the least.
That doesn't go very far with inflation where it's at,
One of the biggest questions in all of this, why didn't she just leave or call for help?
It just pisses me off because I don't know how I could have left, and everybody's like, why didn't you just leave? I was so scared.
Helen felt like she did try. The messages with her sister, her attempts to escape, that she always said ended in violence.
That's part of what these guys actually look for is, I'm not insulting you here, right? But did you ever fight back?
Not after I got tied up. That was the last time I fought back.
So they use violence to make you a little weaker and make you do what they want you to do, and then you fear fighting back, right? So once he gets control of you, then that's kind of the weapon that he's going to use to keep you in line.
Helen reported that she tried to help herself in California, too, letting a motel worker know she was in trouble. She said she even told one of the men she was forced to meet. When she tried to leave one of the motel rooms, Helen said Matthew Jones grabbed her and choked her until she almost passed out.
And he assaults you in the hotel room there?
Yes.
You want to be a victim of the domestic violence with him?
Yeah.
Helen, labeled as a victim, but at the same time,
Hi, Helen, Todd.
a suspect.
How you doing, Jacob?
Nice to meet you.
Two detectives from the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office just drove in from Arizona. They take over questioning, and Helen starts her story again.
And so...
Meeting Matthew Jones, moving in with him right away.
Like, almost immediately, I started, like, seeing super red flags.
How he turned violent.
And he put his gun to my head right here.
How she tried to leave.
That's when he bit me right here. That's when he gave me the black eye.
How he made her have sex for money in California.
Sorry to deal with all that.
I put myself in the situation.
Helen shares another attempt to harm herself. Another attempt to escape.
I thought that the only way I could get out of the situation was to kill myself.
Well, it sounds like he's made you do some pretty horrible things.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can live with it.
What's the worst thing you think he's ever made you done?
At first, Helen said the sex for money in California. Then they talk about her allegations in Arizona again, that Helen could be a victim there too.
If we're able to determine that a crime has taken place, or you want to be a victim,
Okay, yeah.
I appreciate you being honest with me. It's not an easy thing to talk about.
The detectives keep pressing.
What's the worst thing he ever made you do?
He made me take all these pills, and he told me that if I don't help him rob the diamond store, then he's gonna kill me, and he's gonna kill my sister.
A confession.
I didn't want to do it. He made me. I just wanted to go home. I know you guys know. He made me tell me he was gonna kill me. I was so scared. I thought I was gonna get shot. I've never done anything like that before.
When Helen first sat down in this interview room, she was told she was being interviewed about what Matthew Jones did to her. She was never told otherwise when MCSO detectives first came into the picture.
You have the right to remain silent.
But that changed after she started talking about the robbery.
Do you understand your rights?
Yes, I understand. What's gonna happen to me?
I don't understand.
I'm scared to talk. I'm scared I'm gonna go to jail.
We don't have any charges right now.
Okay.
Helen answers all of the MCSO detectives' questions about the robbery.
He's like, you're gonna go in and you're going to hit the glass with this sledgehammer after I hold the gun to these people.
She said he forced her at gunpoint inside the store and threatened her life and her sister's life if she didn't listen to him.
And then I heard a few shots go off and I didn't know who it was. I just dipped out that door and I was like, I just want to go home. And he went out the back door, I think.
What you're about to see is hard to watch. After finishing their questions about the robbery, the MCSO detectives leave, and Helen is alone in the room.
I'm so scared. Why would you do that to me? I'm gonna go to jail because it's something I didn't even have a choice to do.
Keep in mind that less than 3 weeks ago, she didn't even know Matthew Jones.
Somebody please help me! Somebody please help me! Somebody please help me! Please!
And she just revealed all she said she went through to 2 different sets of investigators.
I'm so scared. Why would you do this to me, Matthew? You know I can't handle this. I can't handle it. Why would you make me do that?
She cries in the corner for about 6 minutes until the Huntington Beach investigators come back into the room.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
Helen.
Please don't hurt me. Please
gonna hurt. Nobody's hurt you at all.
Please don't take me to jail. I'm gonna die in jail.
Yeah, do you want to go home or not?
Please, I really want to go home. I'm so scared.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so scared.
Helen, I'm gonna explain some stuff to you. Remember how we talked earlier?
Yes.
Let's act like an adult.
The balancing act between suspect and victim puts this whole case in a big gray area.
Coming from such a traumatic situation and then just like thrown into jail, thrown into interrogation room. Her mind was so messed up from like trauma and the drugs he had her on. She didn't even have like a lawyer present while they were talking to her because she didn't think to ask for one.
There were more messages from Helen's phone to Natasha after the robbery. We can't know for sure who sent what messages from Helen's phone.
I was scared. I mean, I think back to that a lot and I wish I would have done more.
But here in Huntington Beach, Helen was hopeful. She was finally free of Matthew Jones and finally might be able to go home.
It sounds like you're gonna get to go home, but we have a search warrant for some things from you.
Helen said she was never taken for an exam after disclosing she was abused and trafficked. But analysts with Maricopa County did take some photographs where she said you can see her black eye. But these photographs weren't part of her case as a victim. They took the same kind of photographs of Matthew Jones, all on a warrant for the jewelry store robbery case.
All I wanted to do was hang out with him and love him. He took advantage of that.
Unfortunately, in life, there's a lot of assholes. You're still young, you're only 18.
From here, she'd eventually be booked in jail in Orange County.
I think the stuff you've been doing that you told me about for the past couple weeks is way more scary than jail.
Helen would not be coming home.
Good luck to you in the future here. Let's not meet any more dudes on Tinder.
Instead, she'd be extradited back to Arizona and booked in jail, charged in the jewelry store robbery. And they were all about to learn that Matthew Jones had a history of hurting women.
He was in prison for keeping a woman against her will before.
Next time on He Made Me Do It.
It's a whole different world being in jail.
Wait, she's not the girlfriend, she's the victim.
There is significant harm to the community with her being outside.
And if we believe that people will drink poison for a cult leader, why do we not believe that a person will commit a crime with someone else?